Your new book, The Compliment Quotient, has a lot of good ideas in it. Compliments don't seem like a big deal, are they?
Well, they are, and that's actually one of the secrets of the book. Is most people really overlook and underestimate this tool because they're familiar with it. You know, you've gotten some compliments in your day, you've given some of them, but they really are this, I call it a sweet little pay it forward package that combines a lot of powerful, important spiritual qualities like generosity and gratitude, respect and esteem, and most of all, appreciation. It leverages the power of appreciation to uplift your own spirits and your relationships.
So they're more than just etiquette?
Absolutely. They're not just our old-fashioned, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. They really go beyond that because what they do is they make you refocus in and look, reframe what you're seeing and say something positive.
Mm-hmm. So you talk about there's a secret. It gives a secret to the giver of the compliment. What's that all about?
Right. Most people think that the power of a compliment comes when you receive one. Because we all know that little boost you get, from somebody you know, a friend or somebody even on the street. But the power of the compliment is really unleashed for the giver of the compliment. Mm-hmm. And that's because it allows you to let the negativity that's come into your view of someone or a situation fall away. Because if you can't give a compliment if you're seeing the negative, you have to find something positive. So immediately that shifts your focus. I say it's like putting on your compliment glasses, and it blurs out the interruptions and the negativity and the offense that we take it when little things don't go our way. And all of a sudden it uplifts you into this place and lets that grit sift away so you see the brilliance of that person rather than focusing on their faults.
How can compliments improve both the workplace and your personal relationships?
Well, those two relationships in particular suffer from a lot of taking for granted or feeling taken for granted. And I consider that one of the most insidious things that happens in a relationship. So for instance, with your spouse, this is the person you're the most familiar with, but we get so familiar that we forget what was that luster, that spark that drew us together, because we're focusing on the crumbs that they left on the counter rather than the fact that they loaded the dishwasher. So by making an extra effort to compliment, to look for something positive, we're bringing back a little bit of that original, wow, this is what attracted to me, that person in the beginning. It's sweet talk, it's a little bit flirty. Same thing with the workplace. You can bring in that, okay, this is a person who leaves that kitchen light on every single time they leave the workplace kitchen. Well, there's other positive things, and if you can look for those, it can let some of that irritation fall away and really engage everybody a little bit differently in the workplace.
Is there a right or a wrong way to give a compliment?
Well, there are a few key tools that you do want to learn in order to make the most meaningful compliment. And that's one of the other keys about giving a good compliment is if you just gave a compliment that you could sort of scratch and replace to the next person that came along, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, it really isn't going to be that meaningful and raise the spirits of that person as much. So one of the keys, though, is to obviously start with truth. Every good compliment starts with the seed of authenticity. And the other key is that you have to focus in on that person. Find something specific, again, that you wouldn't compliment somebody else, like this gorgeous green color that brings out the green in your eyes. That's specific. That's something that's going to stimulate that reticular memory and make them really feel better about the compliment.
Mm-hmm. And my experience is that many people are not good at receiving a compliment. So why is this? And do you have any tips on how to change it?
Boy, isn't that something we bring up a lot. With a compliment, there's both sides. You're giving it and receiving it. And it actually isn't complete until you actually receive the compliment well. So one of the things to do is think about, if you have a hard time receiving a compliment, think about it as a gift. When someone gives you a gift, you really don't go out of your way to tell them, no, I didn't deserve it, etc. So very simply, try to reduce the extraneous things that you say. Say, thank you very much, you appreciate it. And the other tip is, if you have a difficulty accepting a compliment, is reflect it back to them. Realize that by them giving you a compliment, if you reflect back in a nice, acceptance way, you're really accepting that compliment and you're lifting your brilliance for both of you.
And then lastly, how can I give? How can anyone who's watching this give a meaningful compliment?
Well, you really have to pay attention, and parents in particular, spouses, coworkers, so often we're really wrapped up in what's important to us. And one of the best ways to give a compliment is to find out and focus in on what's important to the other person. For instance, as a parent, we're complimenting our kids on their good grades or that they did their chores. Well, that's important to us. That's not necessarily what's important to them. So by stopping and really paying attention, you have to pay attention, then you can give a more meaningful compliment. With your spouse, I suggest also that we take a step back and try to look at them with those fresh eyes. Maybe show up at their workplace, watch them from across the soccer field rather than standing next to them at your kid's game. You can see some of that brilliance that they have, and again, take another look at them with fresh eyes.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you.